All right, if you want to pop a question up, let me see if I can catch it before we get into it. You know we're going to take off. Well, I'll type this out. All right. Who remembers me saying in the Wedding of the Lamb, or on the Wedding of the Lamb album, this is the hour. Who remembers me saying that? I said, this is the hour. What does it mean? Who can comment and tell me what that means? And also, if you got a question, let me see if I can catch you before we get into it. I'm almost done. Typing this out real quick. All right. Roll back. Peace. Getting right into it. I can see y'all. Roll back. What's good? I like that. Faise. I'm fucking with that. Roll back. How everybody feeling? Roll back. The name of this teaching, this message is y'all have lost y'all goddamn mind. I forgot to put damn on there. So y'all have lost your mind. I forgot to put damn. It's supposed to say you have lost what's left of your mind. These people have lost their mind. All right. So it's a little more time for you. If you want to get a question off, I'm paying attention. I know a lot of people coming in. Rohubat, everybody. All right. Rohubat Ankun. All of you. Greetings to all of you. Okay. We about to get into it. They have lost their neuron foundation. All their neural connections. Their central nervous system has gone offline. All right. Their brain has malfunctioned and rerouted itself into the land of Nod. That's what I think happened to these people. Would I say the Bible is corrupt? No, I say people are corrupt. I say human beings are corrupt. Human beings have lost their way. You understand? Now, if that manifested into a book of confusion or a book of clarity, it was still done by the hands of people who had lost their way. You understand? So man or humanity lost their way. What do you know about the Necronomicon and how it relates to life right now? I'm not familiar with that. All I can say when it comes to necromancy is that your governments have been doing that for ages. People around you in your communities have been doing that for ages. You know what I mean? It's basically saying dark magic or black magic or the hidden occult. That's what it really means when you're saying black magic. Okay, it's an arcana or arcanum. Okay, that's saying people don't know what's being done. People don't know the works. Okay, like the sleight of hand, the finesse. That means people won't understand what's happening. Okay, which is why people wanted to conceal until I came along. Everybody talked about concealing. Everybody talked about keeping things sacred or secret. And then you look and see if they were doing sacred or secret works. All right, as far as what sacred was actually supposed to mean, the answer was no. They weren't doing the sacred works. You understand? And even still, in this day of revelation and in sun cycle time, there is no room for concealing anymore. And we made that clear. And then we even went over and El Quran, one of the holy books, and showed that it was time for a day of revealing. Okay? Here's where a lot of people are getting it twisted too. Let me show you what happened. Because I told you, people have lost their minds. A lot of people, like Dr. Melchizedek said himself out of his own mouth. He said, a lot of people didn't stay on the boat with me. You understand? He said, I said, the land is ahead. People said, I don't see no land. And they jumped off of the boat. A lot of these same people are trying to come back around and act like they stayed on the boat. You understand? So here's what happened. It became a conversation, this was a long time ago, where Pops was saying, I came giving you what you wanted. Okay? I came providing you something, giving you what you wanted, so you would learn to think on the level of what I had to give. Or he also said, you would learn to want what I have to give. Why was he using this key word give? We'll get to that. Okay? So a lot of people thought, okay, Pops was just giving us religion just so that we can, you know what I'm saying, for the people who needed religion, and that's it. However, there was still something at the base of everything that he was talking about. he made sure it was clear. He said he was bringing the truth. He was bringing the truth. People forgot that he said this. He said, all you want is the truth. You understand? He said, but people who don't know the truth don't want to tell you they don't know the truth. Are you with me? Before I get on these lives and say, let only the truth come through me. You know what I mean? It ain't even about, notice I've just started coming on here to show image or body. And even still, I look like one of the the characters that ain't been unlocked yet on the more to come. It's not about what people are looking. It's more about what people are hearing. You understand? And what's resonating, the sun, resonating, ray. Okay, ray is the sun also. It's about that true light activating as opposed to the blinding or the deceptive light that people have been speaking about recently that Pops mentioned when it came to even masonry. All right, because there are two types of light and we'll get into that. He said, all you want is the truth. So what did he say? I can't give you what you want. He gave people the truth. It's double meaning. It's dual meaning. All right. He didn't teach Islam as in mainstream Islam. He taught Islam in its pristine purity. Dr. Malachi York never came to give anybody a fallacy. He never came to deceive anyone. So this is what people are getting mixed up. They think because he advanced through the schools with those who stayed on the boat or those who were the onlookers off of the boat, just waiting to see if there was land ahead, texting niggas who was on the boat to see is there land, but they didn't want to endure the ride, okay, or travel and walk with the lamb wherever he went. Okay, they saw that he was going in another direction, all right, that they weren't familiar with, so they hopped off. And when they saw finally that he got beyond just the religious aspect in their mind, they thought that that meant it was time to come and attack everybody who was a part of these religions. And that's not what he was teaching. He was teaching to learn the truth so that you could go and bring the truth to anybody. Anybody that came to you, you could sit and talk. You go and listen to him in the I Am Hotep class, Dr. Malachi York. He was saying, I'm showing you, he said, no matter who comes against you, you'll be able to stand with them and deal with them factually. Deal with them with the truth. And what is truth? Truth is truth. So ask these people who are making claims that because, this is what they forgot. Phase 1 goes to Al-Quran. Phase 1 goes to the Torah. Phase 1 goes to the Talmud. Phase 1 goes to the Bible. Phase 1 goes to the Vedas. Phase 1 goes to all of these different holy books that belong to all these different factions or branch offs or segments of people or orientations of people. But they're forgetting that before there was a man called Phase 1 that did that, Dr. Malachi York did that for their parents and for them. So here's what they missed. They missed that he said, if people don't go out and teach this, we're wasting our time. This was what he said. He said, all these young guys are being taught to rise up and be just like me and go out and just teach. He said, if they don't teach it, we're wasting our time. Teach what? How are you going to go to the person who was never even taught about the higher sciences of the Bible and just lay Wu Sabat on them? Or just lay spirituality on them? Or just lay Nuwapu on them? The same reason why I was asking a lot of these people, why are y'all saying Bobby and N? We be on the clubhouse rooms 2 years ago, 3 years ago. All right. And people talking about yeah, we're fighting to get Bobby and N out. And they talking so fast. Only the ones who were in your council would understand what you were talking about. Only the people who were in your congregation would know what you were talking about. Only the people in the tribe or the nation or the family or Musar would have known what you were speaking about. But the rest of these people who were listening as onlookers or even eavesdroppers would never have been privy to what you're speaking about when it comes to his situation. So I challenged him. I said, yo, instead of coming out here saying Bobby and Noon, how about say Malachi York for the people who, for one, never would have known who he was. And for two, if they did find out, they would have went right to the Wikipedia. Listen, Wikipedia. And Wikipedia would have given them their narrative. And right there at the front of the word narrative, you have Nar or Nord, all right, which is also Nord or Nawar to say fire, okay, which is also a certain type of information. Wikipedia, wiki means tongue, by the way. It is a tongue or a language. So they're speaking with a different type of language, not the light language or the true light, but the falsified light, which is the fire of Iblis. And these people come forth with their story and they say Malachi York is this, Malachi York is that. So what I observed even in those days, I said, it seems like y'all ain't prepared for war. Because if you have to fight every time you say Malachi York, well, then that's what you're going to have to do. If you persecute, or if you're persecuted because you say Malachi York, well, guess what we said? Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake. And we should understand what righteousness is in that whole situation, because Malachi is Sadek meant righteousness. So here's what y'all niggas are forgetting. Y'all think y'all him and you haven't gone through what he's gone through. You think you're him, but you can't teach like him. All right? You have to be able to talk to the Christian too. But you can't talk to the Christian if you don't know the Christian book. You have to be able to speak to the Muslim too. But you can't speak to the Muslim because you don't know their book. You understand? And if you don't know their book, you don't know their custom, you don't know their ways, you don't respect it. That's another thing to be able to respect it. Have you prostrated recently? Have you placed your forehead to the ground recently? Dr. Malachi York would have never had anyone prostrating if there were not a science to it. You understand? So instead of misconstruing the words to say that the Holy Tablets is outdated, how about explaining that you, who are supposed to be the ones who know what's up now as the Star people, all right, or the Sabians, okay, or the Sabians, or the Nuwapians, those who practice or walk in the order of Wusabat or Wu Nuwap, all right, or Wu Nuwupu, okay, those of you who reach those higher degrees, you're not supposed to still be up under the degrees that he brought earlier because you were from, not off. You understand? Now you walk into a whole world of people who are off, and you have to pull them so that they will be from. You understand? But yet you claim to understand the science of the lodge, and you go around talking to people from a Master Mason standpoint, you understand, or an eminent Eminem standpoint, and they haven't even entered in to be an apprentice. They haven't received the first degree, let alone the second, okay, to be able to be hold, listen, be and hold. Okay, to become and to hold that light of Eve. All right, as the Eminem, which is the M-A-M, which is the ma'am or the mama. You understand? So they're using what Malachi York was explaining about how they were supposed to already be that advanced to use as an excuse to say they don't have to go out and still grab all of these people who are still up under these other degrees. You want to know why? Because they know that if they can do it that way, they won't actually have to do the works. They won't have to do the works. Until I stepped forth and I was talking to one of the people who was in one of the temples recently. And they were saying, yo, we're not dealing with the Elohim anymore. All they're doing is misquoting Pops. They said, we're not dealing with the Elohim anymore. We're not dealing with all of that. It's the Nataru now and da-da-da-da-da. And I said, yo, which one of y'all have encountered the Nataru? The answer was nobody. Which one of y'all have seen the Nataru or the Nataru, the overseers, face to face? Not in no dream or no vision or no imagination, meaning right how you can look at me and see me with your own eyes to behold or look at me. Which one of you who claim to be a part of that higher degree have beheld the Nataru in person? And the answer was none of them. So I said, well, please explain to me, what is the difference between you and the Christian who has faith and belief in the angels, or the Muslim who has faith and belief, all right, or faith, iman, all right, in the malaika, okay? And now these rest of the Sumerian people who are students of the Sumerian way of life, okay, who have faith or belief in the Anunnaki, okay? What's different between all of these people and you? Because you have never beheld for yourself to know for yourself that there even exists a Nataru. But you say you have faith in it or belief in it. You understand? And they can't negate that. Okay, so then you may not want to approach the Christian with that much heavy energy. You might want to lighten up a little bit and deal with the fact that neither you nor the Christian have come in contact with the Ascended Masters. Neither you nor the Christians have ever come in contact with the extraterrestrials, as you call them. All right, whatever name you want to call them. So you can't tell me that Pops is an author of confusion. He never was an author of confusion. I'm sitting right here in front of the Holy Tablets. Everybody who has said that this book was outdated has failed to even explain to me what the purpose of the book is. People that are claiming that they're 5%ers like Atmos ain't even 5%. So what was, okay, you're saying that this is a branch off of Islam. Okay, well, please explain to me from Islam, all right, why was Al-Quran sent to the Muslims, all right, who would soon become the Mu'minun or Mu'minati, all right, why was it sent to them? And this is why I say, y'all have lost your goddamn mind. Y'all have lost your mind. You have it misconstrued. You think, here's what they think. Let me show you the devils, all right, because I told you it's devils moving all around. And what they don't like is that they're being called out and they're being called forth. I'm going to explain that to you when it comes to the science of exposing. All right. Which is why these devils have to come and say, oh, phase one is finally, listen to the word, finally exposed, because they think it to be that no one is able to. No one is capable of actually exposing phase one. You go listen to 19 keys exposed. All right. And tell me if I'm only talking about the man, the person, his credit score, who he slept with, who he was laying around with, what he did to this person, what he did to that person. Go listen to it and see if that's what 19 keys exposed meant. Go listen to Beyonce Exposed and see if that's the same thing that applies. Go listen to The Dragon Exposed. Go listen to any of the 21 Savage Exposed. Go listen to anything. What is it? Drake Exposed. All right? And see if I was just talking on these humans' levels. All right, to say that I'm talking about the person. Anybody who's been walking with me long enough, you understand that anybody's name that I've ever called and said that we were going to expose came with a whole other breakdown or decoding. And this is why I said a while ago, and those of you who caught it. If you didn't catch it, you're going to catch it now. There's a difference between what they think to be exposing and what is exposition. I said exposition. I said, remember that word. They're not going to understand it. And let me tell you what I mean. So we already understand all this has already been scripted. Okay, even when you're dealing with what people call a simulation. Say we're in a simulation or we're in a mockery of a reality. You understand why I broke down to you, even in the Western Hemisphere, they show you that through the science of Encore Sam. I said, just listen to it phonetically. Encore Sam. All right. As long as they can get you centrally attached to Sam, okay, which is still Sam. All right. The illusionary world, like I broke down in my book Rehab, then they win. All right. So for those of you who learned that science through me, when I say, yo, are you in a simulation? Okay. Or are you in a simulation? Because a simulation was saying that you're able to gather all these pieces of information that the transmitters or the emitters or the warners, all right, or the reminders put out. And you know how to assemble it, like Dr. Malachi York said to me in my dream. Get them all together. We said hold fast to the rope of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All together, hold fast, all together. Why you think we're doing mass fast? All together, and do not be divided. Remember, when you were at war with each other, when your brothers and your sisters were at war with each other, or when you were on a brink of fire, and Allah, the source, Dawood, divine, stepped in, God stepped in and saved you from being destroyed. You understand what I'm explaining to you? So a lot of people have been confused because these people brought forth the wrong light. All right, they didn't have any of the answers in all actuality. They wanted to mimic the master teacher, okay, but they didn't want to do the works. So then they see somebody like Phase One, who in their mind comes out of nowhere because they don't know where I came from. You understand? They haven't read the Holy Tablets. Let them be truthful. They have not read the Holy Tablets. If they did read the Holy Tablets, outdated would not be their standpoint. You understand? And they wouldn't just be stressing the actual facts. They would actually be dealing with the truth that is, not everybody is a Sabian. Not everybody is a Nuwabian. And he wanted everybody, get them all together, to come to the table. You understand? And bring all of your data, get them all together, to the table. That way you could decode and finally crack open the matrix. What is a matrix? A matrix is a table of data. Okay, so when I ask you, what are you bringing to the table? What do you know? What does this person know? What's this person's piece? What's this person's nugget? What's this person's gem or jewel? Bring it all to the table. Get them all together. You understand? So even when you're dealing with the holy tablets, let's look at it. If I say holy tablets, all right, I'm saying the whole table. All right, not this piece or this edge over here and what they put their little piece of the meal. All right, we're talking about the full course. And Dr. Malachi York said, you can go hear him say this. In 2004, when he said the Nuwabians were still under the spell, they were still subscribing, okay? And he called that spell lust, which brings you around to mortality, and we'll get into that, okay? But Dr. Malachi York said in 2004 that the reason why the U.S. government, the Encore Sam government, all right, was trying to keep him in the color red, Colorado, at Max prison, all right, without any contact with anybody in the year 2003, was because they knew he was going to come out and get them all together. Put all of the pieces of gems on one table and say, this is what I was doing my best to get you to see. This is what I've been talking about. They knew that that was what he called a prophetic date. All right, 2003, from June 26th to August 12th. They didn't want him to have contact with anybody. Am I saying this? Not alone. He said this. They don't want you to hear what he said, because you listen to what he said. He's going to tell you, don't trust these Nuwabians. He's going to tell you, don't believe anybody. He said, take that off the mountain with you. Don't believe anybody. So what do you mean, Pops? When you said the Nuwabians, these are supposed to be the newer beings. The newer beings, new beings. Am I saying that because it sounds good? No, it's right here in the Holy Tablets. The new beings. When everybody say new being is new being, okay? I also broke down further and said, listen, you're saying Nub Eon, Nuwubu, and that means gold. All right, in the Kemetic language, ancient Kemetic language. Nuwubu, go look it up, NWB. And eon is a time period. Everybody talking about this golden age. Everybody talking about the age of Aquarius. But they forgot you have to be able to merge the sciences of both. Okay, when you say aqua as an acquisition, okay, being able to get them all together, acquisition. Are you listening? When you say agua, you're saying water. And when you're saying golden, you're saying sham or the sun, atin, okay, atum. Okay, or everybody has to atone, which is a part of what happens when the sun comes forth. All right, coming forth by day. Are you with me? And you put sham and ma'im, which is the aqua, which is the water together, then you have the heaven on earth. You cannot have heaven on earth with just one side of it, but people couldn't understand what he was explaining. You have to bring heaven to earth, get them all together. All right, collectively, activate the uni mind like they showed you in the Eternals movie. Okay, so what did you mean, Pop, when you were saying they were still under the spell? What did you mean, Pop, when you said lust was still dominating the Nuwapian community? Notice that the whole explosion from 2022, if you know what how I do, all right, I did things for a reason since you met me. Okay, if you went to my story earlier today, you will see that I was posting frequencies, events from the year 2022. All right, and if you don't know what I'm doing, you might be able to pay more attention now. Why would I do that? Okay, and why does it say memory? Listen to what I'm telling you. Memories 2022. This date, memory, okay? And then why do I do a teaching and call it what? Y'all have lost your damn mind. Because what did you mean, Pop? You said that lust is right here in the Holy Tablets. Tell me this is outdated. See if it misses you. All right, lust is the birth of mortality and the death of divinity. Okay, let's say it again. This is in the Holy Tablets. Lust is the birth of mortality and the death of divinity. Okay, now when you're dealing with lust, you're speaking about a certain type of frequency, okay, that's stirred up and churned in what's referred to as the root chakra or the amber light reality, which is why I told you stop following these clowns. Okay, walk with me, don't follow me. You read my rehab book. I say, yo, listen, you're not just following behind me blindly. Okay, you're learning how to not just take these walks in divinity, okay, but how to bring more people, get them all together to that same exact walk. When people fell, listen, Nephilim, okay, into the lower planes. That's in your body. That's the communities you live in. That's the city you're in. That's the western, eastern hemisphere, northern, southern hemisphere. That's the whole of the world that has been duped and deceived, okay, to get online, and we'll get into that. When people fell, all right, into the lust world or the demi-urge world, what did Phase 1 teach? He taught you what demi-urge means. It was right there in front of you the whole time. Demi, let's look at it right here. You got the graph right here, okay? This is a demi. That's a demi. All right, or a semi. That's a semi. Okay, meaning a half of this and a half of that. So the demi-urge reality that Sophia, who is Baphomet, constructed, okay, was the half of the self that operates off of urges. Okay, and when we said come up here, stop standing under here. Come up here and overstand. You understand? This is so that people would not be anymore subject, okay, up under. Listen, subject to their lust, okay, or subject to their carnal desire. Well, Papa said, yo, are you going to let your body or your soul win? He said, you let your body win, you're going to eternal damnation. Listen, being condemned, all right? Or if you let your soul win, you're going to everlasting life. Remember my song, Noob Rain, all right? Noob is gold again, all right? And reign is to say a hierarchy or rulership, all right, or a position of authority, all right? In the song New Brain, I said, everlasting life will pass you by if you don't climb. You understand? So what did you mean, Pop? You were explaining to people that, like he said, and you can hear him say this, Nuwabian still under the spell. Go type in Dr. York Final Message 2004. You should find it. Okay, Nuwabian still under the spell. That because they got comfortable, all right, and because they started to listen more to their desires, they fell away from the true path, or what was referred to as the Surat al-Mustaqim, okay, or Patarat, the way. They fell away from it. And you can try to kick it all day. You can ashuk, you can roll back, you can do all of that. But it's not going to show forth in your light, which is why Pop was explaining, even when it came to those who were referred to as extraterrestrial beings, all right, or the Nataru, or the Elohim, Anunnaki, Okay, he would say all that, he said, go watch the Independence Day movie. When all those people went up there and were trying to welcome the extraterrestrials there, and they got blown to Kingdom Come with that green light, go watch that. You understand? He said all the people trying to act like they're family to the extraterrestrials, but if your light is amber or red, if you're too heavy, okay, first of all, he said is in this book, okay, there's no reason to come for the Homo erectus. There's no reason to come for them. You understand? He said you want to get back into or forward into, all right, the motion or the energy or the yield of the Homo sapien. Go back toward the light of the Nataru or the light of Eve, okay, or the living one. Okay, I'm going to show you how deep this shit go. Okay, so a lot of people fell away from that path. They didn't stay on the straight and arrow, okay, meaning the straight and arrow, telling you, let's go straight here. All right, that's how you transmute, by the way, or transmutate. Okay, when I ask about author from and we speak about that, you're speaking about transmutation. It's something we taught in masonry, all right, of how to come from the darkness into the light. Okay, it's not to say that falsified light. Okay, that's why I told you there's binary. There are two numbers operating in what this is called a matrix. All right, the left and the right. Okay, or the 0 and the 1. All right, or the amber and the emerald. That's why I told you go watch the movie Spirited. All right, because it's all about redemption or being redeemed. And when we said in Revelation chapter 14, all right, verse 4, these are they which have not yet been defiled, all right, by the women, for they are the virgins. We were talking about the pure ones. And in that same chapter, we said these people have been redeemed, okay, from the earth, pulled out of the darkness into the light, come forth by day. Okay, this is what we've been saying. But a lot of people fell away. As Apostle said, there's a lot of people lost their way. Lost. Listen, right there, lost, lust. And they became like the mortals or the Babylonians. All right. So when I tell you people's names, I say, look, this name has already been put on record and revealed. I say, look at the one who calls himself Lifewave. I say, see that the name is Manessa. Manessa. And you go and look up, what does Manessa mean? And you'll find Manessa means the one who forgot. Okay. And not only does it mean the one who forgot, Manessa also means causes people to forget. All right. Causes people to forget. Why is this important? Because if I say ensan, all right, or ensa, in Arabia, it's also saying to forget, all right, ensa, to forget, okay, but it's also saying the word human or mortal. So what did it mean to become a forgetful one? It meant to fall, literally fall low, like Sophia or Baphomet did when the one, all right, exiled her from the heavenly planes. Okay, what you call Jadabut or Melekut, all right, or simply just heaven or the cosmos. And she fell down into hell. She lost her way. She fell low. She was no longer able to be a member of the light. Okay, what did I tell you? When you say remember, what is Re? R-E, Ray. And what is Ray? Ra. What is Ra? The sun. All right, remember you're saying the sun's rays, okay? Or you have to raise up to get to the sun. All right, then you have the word member. A member of the order of the light. Listen, order of the light. When we put people in that protection realm, what do we call it? The garden of the light. Okay, which is say the garden of the light, the illuminated ones. All right, even when you say seraph and other different words that say that these beings were enlightened. Okay, there was never a point in time when Dr. Malachi York said people should not be enlightened. However, he said, what? All you want is the truth. But people who don't have the truth don't want to tell you they don't know the truth. He said you have to be cautious about that. Because when you're speaking and you're not speaking the truth, okay, he said you're not just talking to my mind, all right, or to my person. He said you're talking to my soul. He said, and you will be giving us what? Bad light. That's almost verbatim of what Dr. Malachi York was explaining. You'll be giving us bad light. He never said don't go toward the light. He said don't go toward the amber light. Okay, so interestingly enough, we got a lot of these people who are going toward the amber light. They're doing the amber works. And how do you know, Faise, who's amber versus emerald? If they cannot stand on truth, then in that moment, meaning in that frequency or current, the energy that is currently moving through them is amber or lowly. Okay, meaning they're likened unto Iblis, the deceiver, or Shaitan, the opposition. If they cannot stand on truth, then they are what we mean when we say the amber light or the deceivers or Shaitan, the opposition. If they're able to stand on truth, just like you've observed me say literally on these lives, if y'all can tell the truth, then you can come up here. Why would I say it like that? Yeah, if you could just stand on truth. Let me ask you this one question. Okay, I'm going to send you on this one quest. And I want you to bring forth the truth when I ask you this question. That'll prove to me that you're ready, okay, to come up and be amongst the emerald ones. Anything these people will say, I can. It is not even about admitting. It's saying, yes, you can back it up and say that is true. Yes, that did happen. But they're not able to do it. And let me tell you how deep it goes. When we say amber versus emerald, all right, and how you have the living versus the dead, or the dead ones versus the living ones, all right? Let me show you something. Let me get this water real quick. Because you have these images. They just put out one of these exposing videos, because finally, I guess niggas is able to say the name. All right, it was the one called LifeWave, who is Manessa, all right, and we'll get it more into that. All right, isn't that interesting that his name means to forget? Okay, you have the one called LifeWave, and you have the one called Atmos, and the one called Sun Ra, and another person's name who I literally tell him every time I get the opportunity, your name ain't worth mentioning, so you never get mentioned. You understand? But there's a lot of people who gathered together, all right, all of them came together to speak against phase one. And I said, pay attention, all right? Now, that's not to see that you, I mean, you can probably find the video, all right? I'm not telling people don't go watch it. You can go find it and see whatever you want to see. But what you'll notice when you see it, okay, I want you to pay attention to something. And if they don't change it, you'll see it if you look at it, okay? Or we get on the end of this and somebody can remind me, all right, I'll show you the image. I want you to pay attention to, when you finally go see it, the fact that the video has red lettering, okay, or letters with a red glow around it. Pay attention to that first, okay? It said phase one finally exposed some of the crazy story that I was supposed to be hiding. I want you to pay attention to the white lettering with a red glow, okay, not the green, okay? Then I also want you to pay attention to something that's very odd and peculiar, okay? They put an image of me standing like this, right? It's a million images they could have found, but they got an image of me standing like this, okay? And they had bars in front of me. Does that not sound odd to you? Okay, they're not familiar with the biblical scripture, all right? So they weren't even aware that they were putting their own foot in their mouth when they did that. They asked for Asa or Jesus to be put in prison, okay? They asked for Asa or Jesus to be put in prison. They celebrated and they were happy and joyful and cheerful when Asa, all right, was put in prison. Why am I saying that? Because I told you on this platform that Manessa, all right, who calls himself LifeWave, did not want to go to Sunday school. This is what was being literally spoken about. He didn't want to go to Sunday school because Dr. Malachi York was telling people don't be like him. He didn't think Pops liked him. All right, he stared him down. Okay, and when Dr. Malachi York got arrested, okay, he was celebrating. He was cheerful about it because he was thinking he didn't have to go back to the Sunday school. They wanted Pops to be arrested. Another thing I brought out that these people had to face themselves about, I say, why so much finally y'all come together to speak against phase one, but we can't get y'all to come together to mention Pops. We can't get y'all to come together to talk and tell the world about not Bobby Yanin. They don't know who or what that is. All right. Tell the world about Malachi York, what happened to him, the injustice that's still playing out. All right. And how he needs to come home. And that's not what they did. They venerated and put everybody else on the pedestals and said, leave Asa, who is Imam Asa. That's the literal name or tone that Dr. Malachi York came up under. Imam Asa. All right. Or came with. Okay. They wanted him in prison. All right. So look at what I'm telling you. Why do you think the one who is called Manessa, all right, who is calling himself LifeWave, his tone is Manessa, which means to forget, the forgetful one, but also means to cause people to forget. Why do you think he would use an image? Let me show you something. He would use an image of phase one with his arms stretched out, okay, but put bars in front of it. I'm telling you, this is the day and time when no one can get away from this type of truth. Let me see if I can show you that. Oh, I probably got it in the other phone. Yeah, I got it in the other phone. Okay. It might be in here though, if I can pull it up real quick. But there's an image of who Dr. Malachi York referred to as the true and living Messiah. Okay. It might be in one of the other books. If I could, I wish I could find it real quick. I don't know where I put where the actual page is. But he called it the true and living Messiah. It was one of the statues on the land, and they're not letting me pull up these images, so I ain't gonna be able to pull it up on my phone, okay? But just imagine a man, all right, with an afro, who was stretched out with an ankh behind him. And those of you who've been walking with me, you know that I've appeared with that same exact image. The only difference is I didn't have the afro, I had the locks. Are you with me? But on the Blood of the Lamb album cover, you can see, matter of fact, I'll be able to pull that up. On the Blood of the Lamb album cover, you can see that image of the one that was called by Dr. Malachi York, the true and living image of Jesus Christ, or the true and living Jesus Christ. Okay? So what would possess, pay attention to my wording, what would possess Manasseh, the Phanessa, to place an image of Christ, okay, behind bars, okay? Because I told you, these are amber-like beings. They don't like to hear the name Jesus. So as soon as Pop was moving into Jesus, and he was even saying this, and they trying to wink at him and say, "Oh, I get what you're doing, Pop." He said, no, he was trying to teach people about that power and about that science. And if you didn't have that power or that science overstood, you were not going to reach the masses. You understand? And all this Abrahamic religion talk, you forget what Abraham or Abram was saying. Okay, father of many nations. You have to go and preach the everlasting good news. Okay, not the ghost spell. You had to be able to reverse it. All right, take them out of the ghosthood or the spookism and give them the good news. Elevate or elect those people and teach to all of the people what was being expressed by all of the ascended masters before we even got here. Okay, which is that old way of life or that ancient way of life that became renewed. All right, so you see this image right here. This is on my Blood of the Lamb album. You see this image right here? Okay. That is how it looked when I think I might have it on here. Do I have mine on? Yes, actually, I have me doing it right here. Okay? They don't know what that means. They have no idea what it means. Anybody who's been walking, you should understand what the crossroad is and all of that by now. But you see this living Messiah, okay, on the ankh, which is a sign of life, not death. All right? Ask yourself, what would possess somebody to put bars in front of that image? Okay, what would possess somebody to say this type of energy needs to be locked up? Okay, because they make a mistake. Their mistake is I invented this. Their mistake is I gave this pose. All right, in first time in history, but that's not true. The truth is anyone who came with that same type of light, emerald light, all right, was able to identify with what this is. But everybody who didn't come with that light, they can't identify with it, which is why they make a living, all right, and make it a habit of bashing Christians or bashing Muslims and feeling in their heart, in their mind, that they're over them. You with me? So Pop was saying, these people have fallen, all right? They've lost their way. They become mortal, okay? And they're not able to ascend because of it. You will not be able to ascend with all of that hatred. All right. You will not be able to rise up without first realizing why the green light came through. All right. Yeah, you can play around with Moses or Atmos. Okay. But at most, that's all you're going to have. Remember I told you, at most, this reality's height is fear. And notice Atmos calls himself the Most High. Well, you're right. The highest you're going to get in that amber light is right up there underneath the foot of anyone who's standing with the heart chakra. Okay. Under their souls. Literally, the activation of the heart chakra happens when you rise up above it. Okay, not beneath it. So you're right, because before El Qadir came through, all right, Moses was the highest one, remember? He was the most high. And everybody thought, oh, this is the person who knows the most knowledge or knows the most information. And then El Qadir came through and wrecked and defied that old way. Okay, that was not working. Remember Tupac Amaru, listen, said this. He said, see, the old way wasn't working. So it's on us to do what we have to do to survive. Okay, go beyond the ways that have not worked. So when El Qadir came through and said, look, here goes the new staff, Moses. We're going to give you a new way of life. Yeah, you've been given this. Yeah, you've been given that. But when we bring you this staff, now you can see, yes, there's a higher world beyond this amber light world you've lived in. All right, so let me pull up something and show you something. This is in the Holy Tablets. Going to back that up or show you what's moving forward with that. Keep in mind, I'm telling you, people have lost their minds. All right? Tablet 1, Malachi Zoduk, Incarnated. Lo. This is chapter 19 of the Holy Tablets. Lo. I know you have wondered Where did I come from? Pay attention. Why did I come? And who am I? I descend to this plane, formless in form, a temple of the incarnated divinity to guide you. All right, let everybody who got an ear hear so you can get where we're going with this. All right, I descend to this plane, formless in form, a temple of the incarnated divinity to guide you. Circle around me, for like the sun, I am the axis. Didn't I give y'all the science of saying that there was something that had to be activated in the center of you? Even when I gave you the mantra, it say, I am centered, or I am El Kutub. All right, El Kutub or El Kutub. Okay, to say that I am the axis or the center, and you cannot access the higher planes without going through the what? Through the center. So when I tell you, when you say the word axis, you're saying the word access. Okay, where access will be denied if you deny the truth, the life, and the way. And we get into that also. You got to tell you that there will be no one who could reach unto the Father without first going through the truth, all right, the life, and Patarak, Dau, Tau, Teo, the way. Okay, that's the only way things were going to ever be open unto you to begin with. That's why I tell you when Matthew 27, all right, the one called Asa was on that cross, okay, something opened up, all right, to allow for his ghost to be let off, all right, in that 9th hour. And I broke down the whole science of that. So let's look at what he said. From me comes what? Pure green light. Okay, from me comes pure green light to warm your soul and to nourish your being. For I am the axis. He says it again. I am the axis. Okay. Did Phase 1 bring forth the green light movement? Yes, he did. Did Phase 1 teach the science of the green light? Yes, he did. Okay. While everybody else was laxing in that red light, amber, okay, which they thought, I guess that's what they think I'm doing, because they don't see that I've been building up. You even hear what they said on the video, which is interesting because the video was full of deception. And here's, let me tell you something else you can pay attention to. It took 4 niggas to come together to say they were going to expose Phase 1, and the shit was an hour long. You know what I mean? 4 niggas didn't have an hour worth of shit to say because you think expose, for how you're saying it, is to say talk about the man. But you couldn't do what the Bodhi Sattva, all right, who was my biological father, did when he went on the Young Elder show, which is another reason why a lot of these people had an issue, because they don't like that Young Elder has been pushing me out more to more people. That irritated them also, because at one point in time, they claimed to be cool with Young Elder, all right, not letting it be known all of the things that they were saying behind the brother's face, okay, not letting it be known how they actually felt, but they revealed it and they continue to reveal it, all right? So they had an issue with that. But Bodhi, all right, my father, Bodhi Ray Love, as they call him, went on to the Young Elder show and asked a question. Why is Phase 1 here? You understand? Yeah, you can talk about Phase 1, but why is he here? You know what I mean? Yeah, you can, it took 4 of y'all to come back and gossip. That's all y'all did. You came back and gossip. You lied on camera. And I was literally sitting to myself, looking at it. I skimmed through it. Remember, I tell you, I can't listen to people's voice for a certain amount of time. I had to skim through it. But there were certain little points that I'm picking up. I said, he's lying. You can even tell. You just look at how there was a point in the video where Life Ray was like, or so was saying, what did he say? Atmos didn't want to even talk to the female. She was just getting books from him. Look at Atmos' face when he said that. You know what I mean? Atmos know that but what did he say? He didn't correct it. He said, yeah. He said, right. Why would you do that? Same way I give you the opportunity. I said, come on here and let it be clear. Did you not get on the phone and apologize to me? Let the world know the truth. And that way that we can rectify all of the deception. And then we rectify all of the deception and then get all that straightened to straighten the record out on all of the other bullshit that he came with. But he couldn't do that. You understand? So they think that they're on the level with me. When you can say that you're going to expose me, I'm waiting on something to be exposed still. What did you actually expose? Y'all got on there, you laughed like a bunch of clowns. Okay, you reminisce with each other because you're trauma bonding, because you couldn't victor. You understand? You couldn't even victor. You know what I mean? So you couldn't victor. So you come together and you trauma bond. Yet people are wondering what was actually exposed. We heard gossip. Okay, give us the breakdown of why is Phase 1 here. I'm giving you the breakdown of why Manessa is here. Manessa is here to cause people to forget. Your name means to forget. Your name also means to cause people to forget. You understand? As a matter of fact, if you really knew the biblical scriptures, you would know Manessa wasn't somebody that even the people who was writing the books fuck with. The kings didn't fuck with you. They called you an evil king. You understand what I'm saying? They said, yo, this is the same one. You see this guy? They said, number one BS guy. They couldn't cuss. They said, you see this guy? Number one BS guy. They said, this is the one who calls people to fall astray and worship under polytheism, okay, and put all these other idols up there. Damn, I think that's interesting. Because your claim to fame was not going to war with or calling these idols into the light and telling people to cast down the idols. No, your claim to fame was standing next to Italy Chopper, standing next to Summer Walker, standing next to Dwight Howard, standing next to whoever, Angela Simmons. That was your claim to fame. You think we forget? Well, here's the thing. Not everybody's Vanessa the Vanessa. You know what I mean? So your claim to fame was off of star power, all right, without being able to transmute it or transmutate it to bring it to the true light. You just was standing there with them. Same thing with Rail, Chosen, and the rest of them. You would think that these people would have stepped forth and say, hey, Innerly Chopper, okay, you can't just come in here and use spirituality to make a fucking album once and then go back to the same bullshit, got the sisters walking around in their hands and their knees. No, y'all didn't do that. You made excuses. You made excuses for Innerly Chopper saying that we have been genetically programmed as men to cheat. Okay, completely disregarding the willpower, all right, that would allow for you to make a decision not to breach a contract or a protract with anybody. Okay, that's why I tell you can't trust a nigga that's gonna cheat. Okay, and if you're a man who cheat, well, you have to deal with that. You got to get that right. Okay, because you're telling us it's a different. They try to use the whole polygamy thing. It's all bullshit. Because in all actuality, when you make a protract or a deal, all right, or come to an agreement, both of y'all supposed to be agreeable with somebody about anything. Your whole purpose of going into that is so that both people mutually can move forward in truth, not in deception. Okay? If this so-called cheating thing was just some animalistic nature that every man was just coming here with and we can't do anything about it, all right, and that's just how it's supposed to be, then women wouldn't get hurt when we do it. You understand? They would just understand. They say, oh, that's just, you know what I mean? They walk in and be like, oh, okay, do you need help with anything? Y'all want something to drink? You know what I mean? No, it's something that is beyond human comprehension, that the animals act this way and we act that way. But that's just how it is. We have the ability to make a decision. We're not dogs, okay? But what's the first thing you want to call us? Dogs. The women are not bitches, which means female dog. What's the first thing you want to say? I got my bitch. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this is a bitch. Okay, we're bigger and stronger and faster and smarter, more intelligent, and have more probability of ascension than the beast called dog, which is why Pop said, just flip it around. Okay, not dog, God. Okay, so nobody grabbed Innerly Chopper by the hand and was like, yo, that's not true. Okay, first of all, if you're going to speak on procreation, then you would actually be starting with the women. You wouldn't be starting with the men. Okay, because we branched off from them scientifically. There's a mitochondrial Eve. I told you, not a mitochondrial Zakar, all right, or not a mitochondrial Adam or Kadmon. Okay, there's an Eve, Hawa. Okay, it started off with double X chromosome. You with me? And so you have to also explain this. Why do women cheat? You know what I mean? If men are just supposed to, why do women cheat? You with me? No, all of it is about decision, but nobody grabbed them. What did Real Chosen do? They tried to make an excuse about it. You know what I mean? They said, I get what he's saying. Okay, you want to get what he's saying because you want to associate with a star. Where's your light? Where's your light? Do you have light? Or do you have the ability to take a false light, transmutate it, okay, shift it, all right, repackage it, and send it off, switch it, and we'll get into that science also. You know what I mean? And then have the ability to do it. So, interestingly enough, so my question, why is phase one not able to be exposed? Why can't y'all read? You can't read, can you? Well, what is phase one's name? His name is Omari. Okay, we go look at what does it mean. Omari, the highest, or high priest. Damn, I think he's living up to his name. You know what I'm saying? Okay, the highest priest. What is shaman? Medicine man, or a healer, or a seer. Okay? Or interdimensional being. Whatever you want to call it. Somebody who can reach between the Akasha, or the astrals that are all around you, by the way. Not just in one place here or there. Okay? Or, somebody said the kingdom of heaven is over here or there. Don't believe them. Okay? Astral is everywhere. Astral is the matrix, by the way. Okay? But again, they only want to say it's over here or it's over there. All right, so people say, I'm an Akashic Records reader. So everybody's reading the Akashic. Or actually, here's what it is. They say I can access the Akashic Records. Okay, everybody who can breathe in and out has the ability to access the Akashic Records. Okay, then you ask who can read it. That's a whole different conversation, but you're still able to access it. Okay, all right, you may not know what this particular word is saying because you didn't study that language or study that tone. All right, or you didn't go through that degree or receive that degree, but you're still accessing it. You with me? So why can't y'all read? And say, who is this phase one man? Where did he come from? All right, why is phase and phase R right there next to each other? Why do I see phase one 8, 9, 10 years ago speaking on the same thing, fighting for the same thing, all right, building people up to the same thing. Why do I see a video when Phase 1 was in the 8th degree, all right, or 8th grade, with a no place for hate competition entry where it was saying Dr. Melchizedek York tribute? You know what I mean? And all we want to see is your track record of constantly, consistently, or persistently fighting on behalf of the master teacher and what he brought, which was the truth and that green light. Show us your record. No, we can't see that, but we can see a record of all the products. We can see the record of all the celebrity friends. We can see the record of all the times you threw a party or an event. All right, we can see the records of you touring over here, you touring over there, you throwing this over here. That's all we see, okay? It paused for a second, right? But when we ask, yo, listen, Imam Asa, all right, Dr. Melchizedek York, okay, L was in the belly of the beast. What did you do to get him out? All right, what did you do to let people know, for one, that he was in there and that it was an injustice? Did you fight every day? Okay, he's fighting every day. He's under the frequencies of hell every day, okay? Having to awaken or rise up and change his mind every day to fight again, every day. 23-hour lockdown. Every day having to fight. And y'all are out here running free. You understand? And all we're asking is, while you were running free, what did you do? What did you do? Going on 22 years. Exactly. I see you. Going on 22 years. May 8th will be the 22nd year. What have you done? As a lot of you were older when he went in. You know what I'm saying? Older than me. What have you done? You played around with time. So what do they see? They see Phase 1 coming out and making it his business, taking it on as his business, that people know the truth. Why? Because all you want is the truth. So we came giving you data, all right, or datum. We came giving you data, all right, so that you would learn to want what we had to data. Did you know datum or data meant give? So Pop came giving you data, information. It literally means that, by the way. One of the definitions is information. Okay, it deals with computer science, all right, and it also deals with literally what people believe. Okay, so we came giving you data, all right, datum, information, a giver, all right, so that you would learn to receive the data. Okay, Pops was doing something that was called packet switching. You know what I mean? People don't understand that. As he did, what's packet switching? All you people who talk about the matrix, what is packet switching? You're like, what are you talking about? You don't know what packet is? Okay, do you at least know about circuit switching? You're like, what are you talking about? Okay, so you don't know what circuit switching, packet switching? So then maybe that's why you don't understand what he was doing. Maybe that's why you cannot replicate the works. Because you didn't understand what he was doing, how can you do it? And my Pop said, you're not trying to emulate me. Okay, you have to learn to think how he thought. So if you're thinking how he thought with the mind that you have now, it would not be the same situation, because we're not living in the 60s and the 70s. Okay, so how do you spark a resurrection? There's already been a first and a second one in the Western Hemisphere. How can there be a third waiting on y'all niggas? All right, what will you be able to bring forth that we can say this is new data? Okay, meaning before they brought this on a day-to-day basis, nobody knew that. So it's new. Okay, even though there were beings that had those degrees, okay, who among these people can bring forth a new resurrection? And if you're not your own star, all right, if you don't have your own, not only gravitation pull, but your own gravitation repel, okay, you have the law of attraction, law of repulsion. Malachi York speaks about that in the Holy Tablets also. All right, how is that outdated? You mean to tell me that magnets don't work no motherfucking more? You know what I mean? This is what people saying. Magnets don't work. He talk about magnetism in here. You know what I mean? The living soul. All right, the body doesn't work. He talk about the body in here. Okay, dates that haven't even come to pass yet, he talked about in here. Occurrences that have already happened and some haven't happened, he talked about that in here. You know what I mean? The Masonic sciences, all of that, he talked about that in here. You with me? So if you're not your own star, if you're not your own, what is being called celebrated entity or celestial entity, how are you going to bring anything to this plane that will cause for a resurrection or an erection toward Ray? Okay, or Ray's erection. All right, like the obelisk needle was confused to be. You know what I mean? Where they say, look, even if you say obelisk, you're saying iblis, okay, which is the phallus. Okay, by the way, when you say obelisk, phallus, if you look at it, the monument, okay, or the moment of the moon, that's already over with. I told you, look at the Asherah pose. Asherah was saying the sun, okay, not the moon or the moment of the moon. We're beyond that. Okay, so there's no more fallacy, meaning you're not going to fall, I see. Okay, but if you continue to follow or fall low, right, like Iblis did, then you will follow what you see. All right, because they say seeing is believing. So when you see something, just looking at it, you say, oh, I believe it, but you've been beguiled or be lied to. All right, you actually have to grasp the concept. All right, make out its tangibility. Okay, and then transmute that information. And then you should be able to transduce that light and give that same type of science to anybody on different walks of life, facing different directions in this reality. Okay, but stars do that. Gods do that. So you have to ask, is phase one making noise? Is he blowing up these things, causing supernova type explosions? Okay, is he sending Dr. Malachi York's name every which way? Okay, is he fulfilling the prophecy that said the whole world will behold him? Okay, and the answer is yes. And then you look at their words and say, what have you done? What have you done? I healed people in your name. No, you open up stores and associated that store with the brand, okay, of Dr. Malachi York, the brand of Wusabat. And don't tell me Malachi didn't teach about branding, okay, because he has a whole teaching called The Strangest Secret. And he talks about being a salesperson and all of that all throughout the teaching. Okay, marketing and everything, who not to offend, all that is being spoken of in The Strangest Secret. So you understand, so you associated yourself, aligned yourself with the brand because it's easier to sell now. And you got all these little millions up under you who don't know they're following a Dajjal or deceiver. All right. So all we asking is, okay, finally, y'all come together, finally, to bring people's attention, okay, to phase one. Yet, the first opportunity you get to do it, you don't put phase one behind bars. You put the image of Christ behind bars. You exposed yourself. I told you how to do it, silly goose, but you didn't listen. I said, if you want to expose phase one, use green light. You use red light. And exposed yourself. You know what I mean? Because people are still wondering, well, then who's going to expose phase one? Finally, you put the word finally. Said phase one finally exposed. Showing that not only was there haste, there was anticipation. And it took 4 of you to do nothing but gossip. Gossip. Okay? Or sip amongst the ghosts. All right? Or grab some tea and sip amongst the ghosts. You know what I mean? Like the girls or gals do. It took 4 of y'all grown men to gal sip. And we're still waiting. Where's the exposure? All right? Because you didn't have the exposition. Phase one comes forth with the exposition. Damn, his name was Manasseh? Yes. It's been revealed. Damn, Manasseh means to forget? Yes. Damn, that's what you mean when you say these niggas that lost their mind? Yes, they all forgot. Why? Because they all mortals. Mortals. And what is mortus or mort or murd? It's saying dead or mortus. Dead. Okay? And Al is God. So they're coming up under the dead God or the God of the dead. Which will explain to you why all these people ran to the order of Anpu or Anubis. You know what I mean? They couldn't decide. You know what I mean? Thought they did Anu or Iblis. They couldn't figure it out. Say Anubis. And they didn't know that you have to choose the side. Amber or emerald. You understand? So they're dead guys or mortals, and they've died. And that's why I told you in my teaching, you cannot die. I don't care what they're doing. You cannot die. They're trying to make it about me, but they don't have the green light. You know what I mean? So let me put it on record again. Remember I told you we're going to have to say this 99 times, and they still won't get it. If you want to expose me, you got to use the green light. You cannot expose me without the green light. You with me? And then what they're going to do? They're going to touch the green light. Next thing you know, they're going to be helping us. They're going to be aiders of the light. They're going to be orators. And they're going to be able to speak the truth. The willing tongue. Remember I told you, the willing tongue speaks the truth. Okay? Remember how I put Manasseh and Atmos. Now you find Atmos to say the Mozu or Musa. Okay, or Moses, who only had the amber light, by the way. You didn't have enough. You had to wait. And Al-Qadir, the green one, had to raise you up. So yeah, you're the most high of the amber light reality. You know what I mean? But you have to come up there. Like, that's why you only, people are talking about the 5% of thing. And I'm like, and then I put on one of the teachings after I got off live. Pops started speaking and said, they're upset with him. The 5%ers are upset with him. I can't make this up. He was saying they was upset with him because he finally put all the stuff in the book and showed people what it was really speaking about. You know what I mean? And mentioned Clarence and everything. That's how it moves. You know what I mean? So you have to ask yourself, when are you going to be able to grasp that green light to be able to actually expose? You don't have the exposition. Exposition, when we're dealing with stories, all right, because that's all these people think these stories until you go and explore and figure out what's been uncovered for yourself and tangibly grasp the thing, okay, instead of just beholding it or acting like you're holding it, really, all right, or holding it, because you're not beholding it. To behold is actually beholding it. You know what I mean? Holding is that you're not actually holding, you're going against holding it. You with me? So these people brought stories. That's all. You didn't even say it. He said a story. You look at the title, it says a story. You know what I mean? But you don't have an exposition. Exposition is to say you're bringing forth background or concealed, all right, or arcanum, secret information that people would not have known, all right? But then you listen to what they were saying. First of all, Manasseh came forth and said he told everybody don't contact Phase 1. Remember I was telling y'all, I said out of nowhere, nobody phones worked when the situation went down. Nobody phones worked, right? As soon as the sister had blocked me, and Beyond 5D had unfollowed me, it happened simultaneously. Then everybody went offline. You know what I mean? And I told her, I said, that was weird. He came forth, opening the mouth ceremony, and said, I told people don't contact him. And y'all have to ask yourself, all right, if this was between me and whoever the 5D gen is, okay, then what would cause this person who is supposed to be a brother or a Zamal of Phase 1 to tell everybody, don't contact him. Don't let him contact you. You understand? How did it go from we need you, we can't lose with you, to yo, nobody contact? He was of the jinn. He was telling people, yo, stray away from him. And these people didn't have their own mind to be able to say why. He hasn't done anything to me. There have been people who brought certain things, grievances, and all kind of stuff. And people have witnessed this about how they feel about this person, that person. If that person hasn't done this to me, I have no reason to feel how you feel about that person. You know what I mean? Now, this person might be a snake. You putting me on go about the fact that he might be a snake. Okay, cool, but he ain't snake me. All right, and I haven't witnessed any snake motions. You understand? But that's what people don't have. They don't have the ability to say, okay, you have an issue with this person. Okay, I don't have to. You with me? So therein tells the truth, not therein lies. Therein tells the truth about the deception. They came forth and was saying a lot of things. They don't even realize it was very telling about who and what they are and who they rocking with to drag on. Okay, that tale is going to drag on. That's why when you listen to it, it seems like they tell their story is just dragging on. All right, you have to ask, what was the takeaway? All right, so the issue, you say Phase 1 was aggravating. I told you, yeah, of course. Emerald light aggravates amber light. They won't tell you why they were aggravated. You know what I mean? Here's another thing. They tried to make it seem like I was waking up at 8 a.m. blasting music. No, SG Hazel. Listen to the word Hazel. You know what I'm saying? Hazel. Okay? Like Halo. All right? Or Hitler. Haze. Like Rod Hayes. I told you, pay attention to that. It's dealing with a flame. Okay? You see, SG Hazel, or Kid Hazel, he asked me to play my music. Okay, because he had already heard about me and he had prepared some beats and put the 99 attributes of a love tone behind one of the beats and other teachings and DNA music, I think it was some other things from Dr. Malachi York's meditation, all right, and made them into beats. Okay, if I'm making this up, then why do I have the beats? I can pull them up, they're in my records. I have the beats still. He had to explain, well, why did you send Phase 1 beats? That's what we were playing the music, and there was no blaring, and it wasn't 8 a.m. You know what I mean? So, no, the lady who was over the Airbnb called because they were blasting music. And around that same time, I was wondering to myself, why is everybody playing this music when we would normally be playing Dr. Malachi York's music for his birthday celebration? You know what I mean? Why are they playing all this other, this had nothing to do with it. So when I told you, the lady kept calling. You know what I mean? If there was an issue in Phase 1 who's not over the event, was playing loud music, that lady wouldn't have been able to keep calling. The first time that lady would have called, they would have told me, hey, you got to turn that down or turn it off. All right, they're complaining. They're talking about they're going to put us out. No, y'all kept telling that lady she ain't had nothing to worry about. She was tripping. She was bugging. Next thing you know, she called the police on y'all. You know what I'm saying? But they keep pushing the narrative. So my thing is, look, you can deal with it, yet deal with it truthfully. All right? But again, they lost their mind. They've lost that, which is the willing. Remember, willing is will, Mashiach. Mashiach. You can't be a Mashiach, a Messiah, or Messiah, all right, or somebody who's designated, keyword sign, designated, okay, to a particular movement or organization to bring all these organizations together. All right, I told you, organs can't function by themselves. All right, so we don't need a whole bunch of organizations. We need a body, all right, or an entity, a being, okay, or a oneness, a unification. You can't do that if you can't speak the truth. You with me? So ask them, why did y'all put the image of Jesus, not the image of Phase One? That's not him. That was the image of Yeshua. That's the image is in these books by Dr. Malachi York. That's the image of one of the statues that was on the land on Tamarin. Why did you put bars in front of it? Okay? It seems to me that you're making a statement that your soul may not have been aware you were making. Okay? Because you also celebrated when Dr. Malachi York was arrested. All right? And you people have eaten off of his being imprisoned. And we've been watching you. We see all of that. I was around. People didn't know why I was around. Notice I have not been around those people. Like I explained in my music, I ain't been around none of you clowns. Okay? Because we don't hang around amber. All right? But the emerald is going to push forth and show. Okay? So they can't make it up. I'm going to read something else from this and then we keep going in the build. All right? But I wanted to point that out because their whole point of it was they say we're exposing, but they didn't have an exposition. You go listen to the 19 keys exposed and all the other exposures, and you're going to learn something. Okay? Ask yourself, if you watch or view any of these videos, people talking about exposing from Ascension, ask, what did you learn about Phase One? What did you learn about what Phase One is here? Go back to where my dad came out and said, why is Phase One here? And broke down the whole thing. That's how we do. You know what I mean? We can show you all the things, the background, the foreground, the middle ground of what the story is. And say, look, this is why Jibril Muhammad is named Jibril Muhammad, because Jibril brought the 19 keys to Muhammad. And I broke down that whole thing, okay? From bottom to top, top to bottom. Exposed it, okay? That's an exposition, all right? But they're not remembering. To say X is like exit or to come out of something, okay? And to say pose is to say a position or something. These people are coming out of the position that they were in, all right? And they're actually being put forth. That's why I said we're not calling them out alone. We're calling them forth. All right, they expose themselves. Watch this. People say, here we go, watch. Revolve around me, I feel my love, and feed off of my wisdom. For in me, you will find what? Overstanding. Let's say it again. For in me, it's right here. You will find overstanding. People say, I am a liar and a blasphemer. But those who know me know I speak nothing but the truth. Y'all hearing this? This is Malachi York's words. This outdated? Listen. I came to guide you back on the right path. The path of right knowledge, right wisdom, right overstanding, and right reasoning. Okay? And he goes into the green tree. The creation of the green tree. Anu, Elion, El created a green tree with 4 branches for the 4 scientists and called it the tree of certainty. All right? Shajar at El. All right, Yakin Lot tree, or the green tree. Then he created my light, Melchizedek, in a veil of green, emerald, whose true light is violet. What light? Pop, say it again. Whose true light, okay, is violet at the tip of the prism, like the wing of the peacock, and placed it on that tree. So my light said, Subhanallah, who is Anu, Elion, El. Okay? So this is what Pop is saying. That's not outdated. That's why I told you we're going through the green light. We're bringing forth El Qadir's rhythm, not Al Gore's rhythm. All right? Why do they want everybody in Al Gore's rhythm? Okay? First of all, the Al Gore rhythm, I'm not saying it like that for no reason. Because interestingly enough, it was Al Gore who had his own rhythm or his own plan. All right, which was a problem that he had, and he had to solve it, which was the algorithm is used for that, by the way. It's supposed to be solving a problem. A lot of people are using just to say there's some things moving around, all right, to be put in front of people and push out certain things, but it's supposed to be solving a problem. Look at this. Al Gore, it was 1994 through like 1997, leading up to 2000, that was the real big thing, okay? He was trying to make sure that all of the children were coming up under the net. All right. He was literally saying it was him and Bill Clinton. He said, they had a thing called Net Day. All right. He said, we want all of the children to be online. Okay. Because a lot of people were fighting against the internet. Okay. Which at one point in time was the IPAR net. Okay. It was literally like saying apart. All right. You had the IPAR net, and then you had the internet, and then you had the what became the World Wide Web. You with me? So a lot of people were saying, yo, we don't want our children to be trapped in this net. whether it's the ARPANET, whether it's the internet, all right, or whatever. ARPANET is what it was called, all right? Go look it up. All right, this is Bob Taylor, some other motherfuckers that was around that, okay? And they had really it was for scientists. That's what it originally started for, scientists and researchers to be able to trade information with each other. You know what I mean? But that's at least what they say. But in all actuality, that internet plan was to say everybody enter into the net, okay? And then when they started introducing this to all these different districts and these people's lands and communities, okay, it became a conglomerate or a network, okay, where everybody was working in the net. They said, well, let's put the whole world in this web. They said the World Wide Web. You know what I mean? So people say, yo, we don't want our children on it, because around the time Dr. Malachi York spoke about this in Dr. York versus the Computer, he said there was a lot of pornography, okay, that was being accessed by young children. Okay, they even had child pornography on all of these sites pushing it. They had devil names for these programs. Okay, and the parents were getting concerned about that. They said, yo, we don't want our children on whatever this shit is. So they had Al Gore, who was the vice president around that time, all right, who wound up running for president, okay, pushing literally for Al Gore's rhythm, or the red light rhythm. How you know it's the red light rhythm? Because they were trying to beat the Y2K. And then by the year 2000, they wanted all the children, the innocent ones, to come up under the red light. And you can find that red light in a movie called 2001 Space Odyssey. Okay, 2001 Space, all right, meaning the time frame, Odyssey. All right, where they were fighting even with Bill Gates since 1985 for a very specific window. Okay, it goes around to the word equinox. Okay, a very specific window to try to lengthen and buy more time for the moon cycle. You understand? And they had a movie, 2001 Space Odyssey, with a being called Hal, Hal, okay, which is like to say, hey, Lal. And he was a red amber light being, okay? Why were all of the AI, all right, or artificial, meaning they're not, or they aren't official intelligence, what people really, if you could break it down, all right? Why were these AI or aren't official beings, okay, or artificial intelligence beings all coming with the red light? Even when the Sentience movie came out, I, Robot, all right, said I, robot. All right, meaning I know, I'm aware, I'm sentient of the fact, I have sentience of the fact that I am a robot or a creation of mankind. They had red light when they finally activated. That's the most high, listen, most high, Moses, M-O-S-E, high, that they could reach. Why would Moses parting the Red Sea? Tell him that. Ask my aunt Moses that. So why was Moses parting the Red Sea? He don't know. What's the difference between the Red Sea and the Green Sea? He don't know. All right, tell us about where the two seas meet. He don't know. You know what I mean? Tell us the difference between El Qadir's staff, all right, and El Gore, or the red one. When you say Gore, Gore brings you around to the word bloody, which is red. Okay, Al Gore's rhythm versus El Qadir's rhythm. Tell us the difference. He don't know, because he wasn't given that. He didn't receive that. He don't fuck with his father's teaching, and he forget his father had a movement, all right, it's called the suns, lights, stars, all right, of the green light. Okay, walking in the order of El Qadir, healing the world. Remember, it was Michael that came out with this song and said, heal the world. All right, and telling people, heal the world. You have to bring that green malachite light, like malachite stone. Okay, malachite is used to heal. And when you put that I-T-E on the word, for all of you who've been walking, you should know that suffix is to say that you're walking in the order of following, okay, or being led by whatever that is. So malachite, all right, anybody who was a malachite, who actually walked with Pops, you would have had that green light movement in hand by now. And you would have been helping us to push that instead of putting red letters around anyone's name that's associated with that green light, okay? And saying that you wanted to trap that same living soul, living. Why do you say living? Because living is Eve, and Eve was Hawa, and Hawa was Hayat. The same way we say, I am Hayat, or Nuki Hayat Matwal. All right, say, I am a life wave. Okay, Hayat and Hawa are the same. Hawa is the green light. You understand? And Haya was saying living. And remember, we had to remind Zakar, Adam. We had the Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. All right, genealogy of Isis, chapter 2, verse 7. 2 plus 7 equals 9. Okay, we formed Adam, Zakar, out of the dust. We pulled him out of the dust of the ground, Adama. Okay, breathe into him, Ki. Okay, Ki. All right, Ka. Remember, go back and read Ikra. Okay, Muhammad. Go back and read these words, the Torah. Go study the Tob and the Ra. All right, we gave him a key. And with that key, he was supposed to be able to access Eve, which is living. Go look at what Eve means in Hebrew. All right, and you should find that it means living. So what does Zakar mean? Zakar means to remember. Okay, Zakar is another word for Adam. Go look these things up. Okay, so Zakar had to be reminded. I asked Atmos in front of everybody. I said, okay, you're 5%. He said, you break off from Islam. Why was Al-Quran sent to the people? He didn't know. Or at least he didn't speak it. Okay, it was sent as a reminder. That's why it was sent, to remind people that they might remember, become members of the light again. Don't be the first to ignore our signs, these revelations. Okay, so you have to ask them, what are these people bringing forth that even goes beyond religion? 5%ers, they're not beyond religion. In a million ways, that is a religion. That's not beyond religion. Okay, and you cannot tell me that just Wu Sabat, all right, as you're presenting it, or just Wu Nuwa as you're presenting it, is beyond religion. Okay, because if you haven't grasped what it means to have the science of Nuwupu, all right, then you're just falling into a religion. Okay, that's why he gave you the right knowledge and said, don't believe me, go check it out. Correct, verify, say that this checks out. This is correct. We need this. We have to rectify the core. Correct. Y'all hear me? See how we can do that? We can look at any word, any spell, and show you why. We can look at anybody's name nominally, okay, and say this is why they've appeared with this name and this tone, okay, because we've been reminded already. Our mind already operates in the light. Okay, and if you ever fell astray, like Music Soul Child said in the love song, okay, those who have faith, iman, okay, it sounds phonetically imam. Those who have faith in you sometimes fall astray, okay? All you had to do was repent. What does repent mean? They don't know what it means. You say the word repent to people like Manessa and Atmos, and they'll say, oh, he's still on the Abrahamic religions. But they don't know the etymology, okay, Adam, etymology. What does ology mean? It means to study something. What is Adam? It means the groundwork, ground. So you study the root or the origin, okay, meaning what is the information, gene, okay, that will bring me to the ori, light, or my light. The origin of this word, okay, which if you flip word around, you'll get draw. All right, what do they mean when they drew this out? Or when they gave us these marks, okay, or these signs or these tokens. So when you go into the etymology of a word or the ground workings of a word, then you know how it was built up. So ask, what's the etymology of repent? They don't know. They don't know. They think repent just to say get on your knees and ask God for forgiveness. But you will find that repent literally meant to change your mind. Or go find the word shub. Okay, it means to switch your path, to reroute the self. Go look these things up. Okay, so when you change your mind, that doesn't mean you praying to some white Jesus. You're left behind. You know what I mean? How you gonna talk about the Abrahamic religion and you don't know about all the nations? Okay, you don't see the word nation and see life there? And how get them all together. All of these people from these different walks of life had to come together, hold fast to the rope all together to get connected back to the vine. You say divine and don't hear the word vine in it. You understand? So all of this already broken down. So yeah, people have to repent. If you've fallen astray, you repent. Go listen to my song, Dungeon Cry, and you're going to see something. All right? Pay attention to the fact that the Dungeon Cry letters are in red and that there are bars in front of Phase 1. Okay? And he's looking out. And you're going to hear as soon as it comes on, ever heard the Dungeon Cry? All right? Tears of love and stone want to disown the prisoner inside. Why would he put the Dungeon Cry in red letters? And what did the bars represent? And why did Manessa come around and put the bars in front of the Christ image? And why did he use the red glow around the letters? Here's the science. The dungeon is Colorado, color red. So I put it in the red letters. And those bars, if you notice, were open. Okay? There's no roof to the bars. It's open. And I've been saying, come home, Pop. And when you see me put the come home, Pop post up, what light color do you see associated with that post? Literally the green light. And I told everybody, drop your green lights. Drop your green lights. Pop, come home. Tell Pop it's time to come home. Listen, Pop, they don't love you. You know what I mean? Or you know they don't love you. You know, and you know who does love you. And to love you is to love the Most High. And to love the Most High is to care about the future. And to care about the future is to consider the children. All right. But if you don't consider the children to be on the pro side, all right, when it comes to your future, all right, then everything you're doing is going to be destructive and mindless or forgetful. And you come out with this mindless behavior. You have lost your mind. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling people, only way to be reminded, only way to change your mind at that point in time is to repent. So you'll hear me say, tears of love and stone want to disown the prisoner inside. Even the prison walls in Colorado AdMax are saying, we don't want to hold Malachi. Even the prison walls are breathing through the night and getting ready to cough him up and say, we like the 3 days, all right, in the well. Okay, before the well spits it up, say, yo, these rib cages, these walls, these cell poles or bars are saying, we cannot hold this man. All right, it is not righteous. Listen, it is not Sadek or Zodok for us to hold this man any longer. You understand? So I say, even the prison is crying to release him. All right, let Issa go. You with me? Because now it's time for people to finally behold the true light. But you won't be there to behold the true light unless you climbed up that ladder to be in the upper room when that time comes. Because he didn't come to everybody and say, look, y'all, he only came to us who were in the upper room. You understand? Or those who can access the upper room. Are you with me? Not to just say some who call themselves disciples, young disciples, elder disciples, Ansarullah, okay? But anybody, anywhere, who was able to say, yo, I don't know who Phase One is. I don't know why he's here. Maybe I didn't listen to Bodhi explain what all of this was, okay, as someone who literally helped to create this being called Phase One or make way of it. And you haven't heard my Umi's voice, so you know what I mean? Some of y'all probably heard her voice, but you don't know what her information is or information is, okay? That comes a time, all right? So you still in a, so when we say when in doubt, as a Mason, we were taught this. When in doubt, do nothing, be cautious, be silent, okay? Or circuit, like the word circuit, which will bring it back around to the circuit switching. You know what I'm saying? So if you were able to access the light of who Phase One was, you wouldn't go against him because that's who he is. That's what he's walking in. And then you're going to see more about what you thought was just this when that increases in frequency. And everybody who's been walking with me, they're going to finally access a level above that. But that's why it's been so long, which is so short, okay, that we've been dealing with this green light. You have to think back of how many things I presented to you where the focus was on green light. You got to really think back of how much I've been doing and how long it's been, which is short and fast, okay, or long walk on a short path that we've been bringing it. And we say, finally, the science of green light. Finally, it's time for you to science the green light. What does science mean? Etymologically, it means to know. All right, so I could talk. I could talk myself out of frame, okay? But now, those of you who've aligned yourself with that green light, you know what I've been saying now. Because it's becoming a part of your essence. It ain't something that I just been telling you about. It's becoming a part of you. You surrounded yourself with it. Some of y'all have not turned off that green light since I said on November 6th of 2023, Novum. What is Novum? The 9. When we put the 9 to that 6 and the 7 year, are you with me? Some of y'all have not turned off that light since I brought it forth. You with me? So you realize there's no reason to war with Phase One. There's a lot of people. Listen, there's a brother whose name is Rod. I'm not talking about Rod Hayes, okay? There's a brother named Rod. I don't think many people would even know who he is, okay? But he did a reaction video. Some of y'all saw it. I saw some of y'all see it because you was under the comments. You know what I'm saying? He did a reaction video. He was saying, man, I didn't even know who Dr. York was. Okay, this is a young nigga. He said, I didn't even know who this was. I got to do more research, right? He said, yo, so what do y'all think? He said, comment what y'all think. Y'all think it's 21 Savage, you know what I mean, who did it this way? He said, or you with Phase? He said, I'm not going to lie. He said, I'm on Phase One side. He said, I feel like it's time. You listen to him, he sound like the average nigga riding around in the hood. But he was like, bro, he said, damn, I forgot nigga from the UK. I was reminding people about all these things, even down to ICE. You know what I mean? And when they came for 21 Savage, when he was speaking about the Flint water situation and all of that, all right, then all of nowhere they came for him. You with me? I even said it in the song. I said, I don't fuck with how they did you, but you know how them get though. You with me? When you start using your position, listen, your platform to tell people what's actually going on, bring their mind to the light, as opposed to pushing more corruption, core rupturing, all right, rupturing their core, instead of reminding them of the light, okay, that's invested in the heart. Okay, saying what we had to take what you call Rasulullah, Muhammad's heart out and cleanse it and take out the opposition portion, the shaitan portion, the amber portion. take away that red light, okay, so that the solar plexus was charging the green light as opposed to charging the amber light or the deceptive light or the false light. We took away Shaitan's portion, then put it back, okay? Then he was able to go forth as the holy or one of the holies, okay? That's why we say complete or perfect for us, our light. You, all right, the source, who is who? Who is who? All right, which is say who, H-U, okay, is dealing with the most ancient acknowledgement of the source. All right, the most ancient acknowledgement of the divine. Who, H-U, go look it up. All right, that's who people had to get back in alignment with, and who had the power over all things, the omnipotent. And let me tell you something, we're not omnipotent. We're not omnipresent. We're not omniscient, science, which is omniscient, okay? We don't know all things, omniscient. We're not present everywhere, omnipresent, all right? Not in this mortal being or this human being, because right now we're being human, all right? And we had to be reminded so that we might ascend in our degrees, okay, or in our grades and become like the Malaika or like El Messiah, all right, or like Buddha. What does Buddha mean? Awake. Okay, and to this day, everybody talking about they way beyond religion and can't stop quoting Hinduism. They can't stop using the chakra word. They can't stop talking about the third eye. They can't stop talking about the meditation, transcendental meditation. You know what I mean? Even these things talking about some Buddha was black. That's going beyond religion, or is that doing what your father did? Which is to explain religion, coming to give people, somebody here with me, what they want, so they would learn. So one, but y'all haven't gone anywhere. If you went somewhere, I wouldn't need to do what I was doing. You haven't gone anywhere because you forgot. You have lost your goddamn mind. You forgot who the master teacher is. Not was, is. To this very moment, you forgot that that is the master teacher. But these people come out of their mouth and say, I don't fuck with his teachings. Okay? But then when they're in the presence of me, they try to act like they did. And I asked them questions about them, about those teachings, and they had no idea. Didn't even know what the word Jesus meant, which was an embarrassment. I said, damn, you never even thought about the word itself? Are you talking about Jesus? No Jesus? But you didn't think. So you only repeated. That means you couldn't have studied the word, Elias, or any of that. Because if you actually studied it, you would even know how to put that word together to say the J. You know what I'm saying? In that day and time, or Yeshua, whatever. Okay, Yeshu, Asa. But you didn't even know what it meant. You don't know Yeshu. It's dealing with salvation or to rescue a rescuer. You never knew that. And he didn't know. I said, damn, that's one of the easiest degrees. You know what I mean? But it becomes the most complicated when people are not humble enough, all right, to be able to receive. And they think that because they got the emulation down, okay, that they're actually being able to replicate the works. So that's why I called everybody forth. I said, okay, cool. I don't have no problem with you mentioning Dr. Ben. I don't have no problem with you mentioning Dr. Africa and these people. All right. But I want to go for the first time in this whole conversation. I want to go master for master. That's what I want to do. I want to go master for master. And I just want to see who among you will be able to provide to the people evidence that will show that that is not the master teacher of all time. You understand? And they wouldn't be able to do it. Okay? Even when they try to use it, say, oh, he's plagiarizing, da, 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 da. Listen, then y'all are plagiarizing. You didn't come up with the word chakra. You know what I'm saying? You didn't come up with the word third eye or the heart chakra, all right, Asna, Vishuddha. You didn't come up with these words. You didn't come up with the word spirit. You didn't come up with the word 5%er. You didn't come up with supreme mathematics. You didn't come up with you're plagiarizing. Because I ask you, what book did you write where you have new science and it's crickets? You short circuit. The word circuit means silence. All right, you come up short and you're quiet. You short circuit. You short circuit. You know what I mean? Where's your books? You know what I mean? Listen, anybody who read my books know that as these books continue, you start saying, yeah, I never thought of that. I would have never even acknowledged or had active knowledge of Bakamir. I thought it was just Mirkaba. I never thought about it backwards. You know what I mean? Damn, I didn't realize, damn, silence. Silence means mind's eye. Sai is to say the mind, and lens is to say something that you use to see. Eye. and that silence and Bakamir go hand in hand. And y'all are reading these books, and I know y'all are reading these books and having explosions, because I'm telling you, my right hand to the Most High. Okay, all truth. Okay, all truth. I had to do this, make sure it's clear. And he said, he tried to hide his hand. No, I'm touching my heart. You know what I'm saying? All truth to the Most High. All right? I read my own books, and I say, how the fuck did I figure that out? You know what I mean? I read my own stuff back and say, wait a minute. I do not like them green eggs and ham. The eggs are the green ones, and it's Samael. Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, ham, the lineage, eggs, green, origin. I put enmity between you, the woman's seed, and the serpent seed. Serpent poisons. Sama means to poison. You know what I mean? Eve is the green one. Hawa. Sam don't like her. What the fuck, Pop? I mean, I promise you, that's just how that. He said what? He says it's the soul that guides the pen. Okay, then you can step forth and somebody come forward and say, yo, yeah, because we do not like them green eggs and ham. Is to say Samael and Eve is the green. You're plagiarizing me. You know what I mean? But I can't say you're plagiarizing because you come out here and speak about Nibiru. I can't say you're plagiarizing because you talk about a crossroad. All right? I can't say you plagiarizing because that's what they got it misconstrued. You know what I mean? But they won't deal with the fact that all of y'all they're plagiarizing him. Saying what he said. Copying what he said. Using his words. All right? To the point where we call it out. Now they don't want to use his word no more. They just want to do a branch off of his word. It's no longer going to be overstand. We're just going to say understand and act like it never happened. Until somebody comes and say, no, that's not how that happened. I just read you right here in the Holy Tablets. What did he say? Where you at? He said, for in me you will find overstanding. Okay? It's right here in Tablet 1, Melchizedek Incarnated, chapter 19. Okay? If you want to go look it up. In me you will find or receive overstanding. They say, you understand me? You understand me? Understand? They start making jokes, understand. Well, who broke the code so that people weren't standing under? That was him. Okay, you're plagiarizing. Rashad Jamal plagiarized. That whole 9 ether, all of that's right here in the book. You know what I mean? And I ask people, please show me 9 ether before Dr. Malachi York. Because if it exists, I'm just asking you to show me where 9 ether was broken down in its entirety before Dr. Malachi York, which means you should be able to explain to me all of the neon, the xeon, you know what I mean? All of that. You should be able to break down the components, the 9